We want to talk about some missing persons here, Cease.
Get the milk carton ready.
That's right. We've got a couple of characteristics to draw on said milk carton. We talked a little bit about the tight ends. I want to go deeper into that in a second. But first, how about Marvin Mims? Where the heck were you, Marvin Mims? 12 offensive snaps. That's what he played in the season opener. This is a guy that was Sean Payton's first draft pick a year ago. And he played 12 offensive snaps.
Right.
Devon Vele had 8 catches. Marvin Mims played 12 snaps. That's not good.
Right.
For a 7th rounder to be doing that while the 2nd rounder is doing that. Marvin Mims was bad in training camp, was absent in training camp, had the 1 touchdown. Was that against the Packers? The little out route at the 5-6 yard line. I mean, to his credit, he ran the route and caught the football, but that was pretty much it out of Marvin Mims. Cease, where the heck is Marvin Mims? What has went wrong with Marvin Mims being developed into a real legitimate threat down the field?
Well, Devon Vele, 8 targets, 8 catches.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, 12 just snaps for Marvin Mims.
Ugh.
And it has to do, and this is just a guess, but it has to do with the effort that they see behind the scenes. I mean, we've seen it, and we talked about it during training camp when he was yelling at Johnny Moe. Johnny Moe yells at everybody. Their wide receiver coach, Johnny Morton.
I really like Johnny Moe, though.
Yeah. He yells at everybody. Marvin's the only one that yelled back.
Yeah.
You know, throwing his helmet, being disgruntled, all these sorts of things. And it's like, as a return man, he's exceptional. And there were some times when maybe you think he could have broke one open. And he will probably help win the Broncos a game. They're going to play tight games all year. All year. And I just wanted one more drive with the momentum in 26-20. Let's go Broncos. But with Marvin Mims, it's, okay, he doesn't know how to get open. That's the bottom line. The honest answer, and the truth is belligerent by its very nature. The truth of the matter is Marvin Mims is not good at getting open. He's got to get better at that. And here's the thing where if you're Sean Payton, you could have done things differently. We've talked about the woes of the ground game. You know what they do with Marvin all the time? And it's kind of ridiculous, but I wouldn't have minded at least seeing it one time. Just do an end around.
Oh, there we go.
Just do an end around with Marvin, kind of get him in. He is such a game breaker with that speed, with his return ability. If you give him a handoff on an end around, jet sweep, whatever, now all of a sudden you're getting him kind of settled into the action, and maybe that warms him up. You can design things where he's not having to run. Have a wide receiver screen. That's something where I want that explosive playmaking ability given a couple of chances. We see it with Jaleel McLaughlin, who puts in all the effort and everything like that. I want to see it with Marvin Mims as well, because he's a game breaker and there are ways you can scheme around his lack of route running ability right now.
And I saw old buddy Chris Harris Jr. I love that Chris is live tweeting Broncos games.
Yeah,
it's great
awesome.
to see the action and instant reaction from a former player that obviously meant so much to this team in the Super Bowl runs. But he kept saying it. Why aren't you using Marvin Mims? Why aren't you using him more down the field? And I thought the same thing. Marvin's not open. And if he's only getting the 12 snaps, that means my eyes aren't lying to me. The coaches are seeing it as well and just go, well, it's not worth him being even out on the field right there. That to me is, man, I go back to a Jerry Jeudy too. So you draft a wide receiver that's supposed to be NFL ready and do all these things. And Marvin Mims wasn't that level that Jerry Jeudy was, but Jerry was a Bronco bust. And here we are a couple of years removed from that pick and now into his sophomore season with Marvin Mims. And I'm not going to go there right now.
Next year you can.
But he's trending towards being a Bronco bust just like Jerry Jeudy was.
Right, because you didn't draft him just to be a return man.
No.
Now he can be a Pro Bowl return man, and all due respect there for Marvin in that department. And again, special teams is going to win the Broncos a game or two this year as they play close contests. But you draft Marvin Mims because of that game-breaking speed, and you want him to develop as a route runner. Right now he leans when he's running his routes, so you can always tell if you're a defender, you count his steps, you see the way his shoulders are, he's going to tell you where he's going. That can't happen. I always give a receiver 3 years. It used to be kind of the standard, and I'll date myself because I'm old, but Herman Moore, Marvin Harrison, these are all players that took 3 years to really get going. And of course, Marvin Mims probably shouldn't be mentioned in the same breath as Marvin Harrison. But just to give you an example, it takes wide receivers some time because in college, you can just out-athlete everybody.
Yeah, that's right.
In the pros, you have to know how to cut a rug. Marvin doesn't, he's not there yet.
Mm-hmm. The out-athlete everybody, that was actually a term in the Bears game. When the morning I just watched the Red Zone to get things going.
It's the greatest thing of all time.
You know what, man? I was so high on Red Zone forever. And then I got not down on it, but I was I want to watch a game. and just figure everything out in that game. And I did that for like 2 years.
Okay.
And now I'm out. I'm so back in on red zone because it's when the Broncos play in the 2 o'clock hour, red zone for the first 3.5 is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But they said the exact same thing about Caleb Williams, who was struggling and getting sacked or just struggling to get rid of the football. Like, hey, in college, he's outrunning everybody to get away and still have a passing lane, or just outrun everybody to get a first down or out of the behind the line of scrimmage. But it's the same thing for a guy like Marvin Mims. Yeah, he's really, really fast and really, really athletic. And that's really, really good when you're playing guys that are now selling insurance for their dad's firm.
Right, and you can do that. And it's like how a win changes things. Imagine, if you will, one Josh Dover, one Cecil Lammey doing Chicago sports radio.
Yeah.
You know, is there a panic button? The Bears were terrible offensively.
Bad.
Terrible. Ask any fantasy GM.
Caleb Williams had, 92 total yards?
Yeah. And again, that's less than 150 yards from scrimmage, and they won. It's the first time since 2006, the Rex Grossman days. But is there a panic button there? No. So, again, they had the momentum late. It's 26-20. Bo runs in that touchdown, and I was watching the Spanish broadcast.
Oh, nice.
And the announcer was like, "Opa!" when he did the spin move. It was fantastic. Like, that was, and you just wanted the defense to get one stop. Mm-hmm. Just get him a stop, get Bo the ball back. Maybe it's different. Maybe, and I was thinking, as I often get ahead of myself, I want to see Bo Nix's first comeback. We were treated to John Elway for years and years and years. Like, I want to see that first comeback from Bo. I thought maybe there'd be an opportunity after he got that rushing touchdown. That didn't happen. But as we go through these games, I hope Marvin Mims is doing more at the end of the year because I don't want him to be a Broncos bust. I want him to be a favorite of Bo Nix. And right now, it looks like Devon Vele's that favorite.
Yes, he is. Devon Vele, and you said it, 8 out of 8. I mean, he was NFL wide open on 7 out of those 8 catches that he made. Mm-hmm. And that's a credit to him running the route, Bo finding him, making the throw. It's just, he looks like he is going to be a big piece moving forward. How do you
Marvin
keep Devon Vele off the field?
Yeah,
no,
you don't.
No, you can't. You can't trust Marvin in that same role.
Right. So,
Absolutely not.
Who would be open? Vele's the guy getting open. Marvin's not. So I guess the math is simple there.
When it comes to tight ends real quick, I mean, is that as simple as just game plan? Have more of the tight end in your offensive game plan, or was that the same thing, that Greg Dulcich's just not getting open?
Now, Dulcich would have been open if the plays would have been called for him. And, it's like the edges of Seattle's secondary are not where you pick. Mm-hmm. You pick in the middle of the field, yet they avoided that part when they shouldn't have. And there were some drag routes, et cetera, but I'm talking about seam, like vertical routes. Mm-hmm. And that's where you can have more air yards per attempt. You can back up the defense because it was just throw short and we're going to rally. And if that's your film, the Steelers have a hell of a pass rush. They've got a hell of a secondary. And that's the film you put out there. It's like, we're just going to take everything short. Like, okay, every defense is going to rally then. And it's a problem unless you use your tight ends, Greg Dulcich specifically, and start going seam ripper and sending them out there and at least launch one just to make the defense think about it.
Yep. And even with Greg Dulcich, talk about second half adjustments. I watched it, Cease. Greg Dulcich, in that giant tight end body and frame, having a smaller inside linebacker follow him when he was running across the middle. That, again, I'm not an NFL coach, but I feel like it's not crazy to go, hey, I like that one-on-one matchup. When I see it on the outside, that's my first progression. And Greg, if you see it on the outside, put that big old booty on a dude, turn around, box him out, and give me a target to throw the damn football to.
Yes.
It's not that difficult, right?
No, it shouldn't be. And credit to Greg for building that booty, because I still remember the first year when they were cleaning out their lockers. And, I just saw somebody in the corner of my eye. I was like, who's this reporter? Because the backside was pretty flat, right?
Oh,
and
yeah,
I was like, it's not an NFL player's build.
Right.
It was Dulcich. But then he's worked
put
on
the work in. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Me, you, and Dulcich, we're like the hair bros, dude.
Exactly.
Just keep things rolling.
And Singleton, right?
Oh, and Singleton.
There's some
of
hair
course.
bros
Can't
out
forget
there.
Singleton, absolutely.